So let's start with those prerequisites. What are the things you need to have in place in order to get started? And the first one is going to be a Meta account. And the good news here is you've probably already got this. If you've got a Facebook page, if you use Instagram, if you do any sort of Facebook advertising, you will have a Meta account. The only thing you probably want to check is if you're not yet using any paid Meta services like advertising, you do need to make sure you've got a billing method set up. So Meta charge direct for the message costs, and there needs to be a billing method in place in order to charge you for that. Most of our customers find the accounts there, but do check that. To check it, go into the Meta portal, to your business home, into the top hamburger menu, and you'll see a couple of links there to billing and payments, and you can add a payment method there if it's not already there. Next one, phone numbers. So this is quite a difference with Viber, that unlike with that channel, every WhatsApp sender is linked to a unique phone number. So the first thing to think about is how you want to use senders and if you're going to need more than one. You may need multiple if, for instance, you're sending in a market, in a number of different markets, and you want to localize the language, contact details, maybe slightly different logos, slightly different services on offer, etc. So here is a real life example from Decathlon, where they've got different senders that they use within different countries. As you can see, they're connected to different local phone numbers, and there are slight differences then in the contact details, sending you off to local websites, and some of the other information about the business. So that's something you'll need to decide if that applies to you. And for each sender that you want, you'll need a different phone number. The phone numbers must be able to receive calls or SMS. This is really just for authenticating the phone number when you first sign up. So you don't need to receive lots of them. It's probably just one, but you do need some way of receiving an SMS or a call in order to authenticate. It can't be used with any other WhatsApp account. So if maybe you're already using a WhatsApp business app, or you've got a personal business number that has a WhatsApp account to it, unfortunately, you can't use those. You need a clean number that isn't yet associated with any WhatsApp account. If you're using WhatsApp Business Platform, so the API with another provider, and you want to move that to Messente, that's fine. You can do the migration and move it across, but it just can't be in two places at once. The other thing to be aware of is when you first start, there's a maximum of 2 numbers that you can add. We'll talk a bit more about how scaling up works with WhatsApp later, but this is one of a number of areas where they start you quite small, but fairly quickly those limits will be lifted and you'll be able to add more numbers as you go on. In order to get those numbers, probably the easiest method is to talk to your existing business telco provider, so whoever provides business phones, devices and SIMs for you. See if you can just get another one added there. You'll have all the billing in one place. You know that number will stay live, and you know that's probably easy for most businesses. You could also just walk into a shop and buy pay-as-you-go SIM. That's fine. You'll need to put it into a device for that authentication method at least, and you'll also just need to make sure that some SIMs, you know, if you don't top them up, they could get cancelled and you could lose control over that number, and that could be a problem if you needed to re-authenticate it. So you'll just need to think about how you're going to keep that number live and available to re-authenticate if required in the future. And finally, we can also provide numbers in some markets. So if none of the other methods work for you, do talk to us and we can take you through the options for that. Last of the prerequisites then is opt-ins. Now, this is one of the areas where most of you will already have an opt-in strategy. You know, it's required for SMS. You know, it's good best practice generally, but it's something that I think it's worth emphasizing because WhatsApp really call it out very specifically within their business messaging policy. Anyone who's thinking about using WhatsApp for business messaging, you really must read the policy. It will take you through exactly what is allowed and what isn't allowed, what are the rules of the platform, if you like. So I would recommend having a good look at that. And then I've just pulled out the little snippet here about opt-ins and just what they're looking for. And they want it to be very, very clear that the person who's opting in, they're opting in to receive messages or calls, and that it's going to be on the channel WhatsApp specifically, and it must clearly state your business name as well, so they know who is going to contact them. Now, lots of ways of achieving that. If you've got an existing opt-in process, then updating that to include WhatsApp is probably the most straightforward. So whether that's a form a bit like this one, where you can check the channels that you're interested in being contacted on, and you could add WhatsApp to that. You could also add WhatsApp named on a more general privacy policy or communication policy, and cover it that way. Next, you could invite users to opt into WhatsApp, and you could use SMS for that. So you take your existing SMS database, let them know you've now got WhatsApp as an option, and send them a link to sign up and opt in to that. And then finally, you could create a whole new experience just for WhatsApp. And you might want to do this if you were going to take advantage of the channel's unique features to maybe create a new product. So it could be some sort of newsletter, some sort of regular offers, some way of hooking users in. You might then want to create a form on the website to sign up specifically to WhatsApp. You can also do things like generate QR codes. So that's a real one there. You can try scanning, and they will take the user straight into your channel on WhatsApp with a pre-canned message. So it could say something like, please start sending me messages, send, and then you could collect opt-ins that way. So lots and lots of options for these. Probably to start, we'd recommend using whatever method you're comfortable and familiar with and have in place today.